If you get hit with this thing, you can lose 3/4 of your health bar like that. All I do is just run up and then kick as I strafe to one side.
Oh, bother. I've got brains all over my club. Oh, Christopher Robin, I'm so sorry.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, my voice sounds a lot deeper, like I'm coming down with some kind of illness myself. I don't know if this is true, but I've been sneezing like crazy this morning. Normally I'll sneeze once or twice. I sneezed like 10 or 12 times in a 2-minute period. It was ugh. So hopefully I'm not getting sick. It is a gray diffuse day out there. It's hopefully not going to be too warm. Here we are, almost middle of October, and we're still having mid-70 temperatures, so hopefully it's going to cool down a bit today. That would be good. Of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be awesome. You could leave me a comment, any type, saying anything at all, even for the algorithm. That would be awesome. Double plus good. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome, helping to keep me and my pets alive. I do appreciate that, and I know that my pets appreciate that as well. Definitely. If you would like to be one of these beautiful and awesome people that helps to keep me alive, I have links in the video description. Thumbs up for that. And if you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there's a PayPal for donations. If you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food on it. And I have a post office box where you can send me anything at all, from postcards to keychains. I will open them up on camera. Thumbs up. Hey, front loading the video is over. Yay! Now, of course, on to the big thing that's really been causing me a lot of mental issues lately. Ghost and his health. He's still alive. He's still active as you can be. When he is sleeping, hamsters and other rodents and such breathe through their nose. He is so clogged up, he breathes through his mouth. You can hear him going when he's sleeping to breathe. When he's up and active, he breathes through his nose as best he can. You can hear him clicking and wheezing, making noise up in his sinuses. So he does not have pneumonia yet, I would say, but like I say, he breathes hard. I see him just sometimes sitting there just really, just his chest is opening wide to breathe. So yay, but he's hanging in there. The thing about it is when I read and watched videos on it, is if hamsters get colds, it can easily become pneumonia, which is usually fatal. The key parts of that are usually, and usually doesn't mean always. He's been about a week here getting really sick, and he's not as bad now as he has been. So he may be getting better. And I don't want to euthanize him in any fashion if he's going to get better. But I don't want him to suffer either. So right now he's doing okay. He's sleeping, he's eating, he's active, he walks around, he chews on cardboard, he does all the things that a hamster would do. He's just really having troubles breathing through his nose and stuff. So he's moving slower, but he is doing better than he has been. So it's still a lot of pressure up here. I have not been able to do the things that I would like to do because every time I hear him making these noises, it immediately throws me into, oh my god, I feel so bad for him mode. So I haven't gotten done as much as I would like to do. The big thing that I have accomplished of late is I have been fixating, of course, on the game Paint the Town Red. I've done a lot of Let's Plays for this, but it's a voxelized type brawler thing. It's a first-person type brawler, only it's not really a brawler. It puts you into situations where there's a lot of characters that are just NPCs sitting around in like a bar or dancing in a club or doing stuff like that, and then you start the hostilities and instantly they all start fighting, and then it's up to you to murder everybody. Basically, you can't leave the level until you've murdered everybody. Paint the town red. One of the things that they have, there's a couple different ways you can play. There's the God, what do they call them? There's the made up levels that you can go through. Then there's the arena, and then there's a big thing called underneath or some such like that, where you go through like roguelike levels of dungeon type things, huge caverns with weird monsters, and they put a huge amount of effort into that, and I don't understand it fully. But the arena challenges have been tough, and for years I've been trying to work my way through the first arena challenge. I can usually get up to 4 challenges, and then that's it. I have been powering my way through the arenas now and trying the other arena challenges. One of the things that I do now, and I almost finished the entire first challenge this way, you can pick up weapons and you can punch and you can kick and you can do all these various things and leaping. I've gone into just fully I'm gonna kick mode. So I run through the entire arena, and then I come up to the characters and I kick as I run at them, and then I stomp over the top of them as I run over them as they go flying, and then I keep running, exploiting their pathfinding by dragging the main group of them after me and then dashing over to the fallen one before he can get back up and stomping on them hard again. And then you do that 4 or 5 times and that one fellow is just dead. And then you just pick them off that way. And every challenge I have just been kicking. No other methods. One of them, and they do this a couple times in the challenges, is you have to fight smarter, not harder. There are environmental problems in the game, where there's one that has spikes come up out of the ground, and there's others with whirling propeller blades you can kick things into, and then there's things with fire. The characters that are chasing you are boss type characters. Others you can kick them and then run through them. These ones, you kick them, they just go ugh, and they stand there. And then because you've come to a complete stop, if you don't get out of the way, bam, and you've lost half of your health points. So you can't just go face to face with them. There's 2 ways to deal with it. One of them takes a long time, and I'll talk about that. The other, as I said, work smarter, not harder. What I do is they have a large area with like 9 of these spike traps and then 4 others to the sides. You have people that are on your team, they engage with these big bad guys. They all die. All I do is run around the spike trap. Full speed, just run around the spike trap. And then I just go past them. So I run around them and they try to follow me, and then their pathfinding gets confused and they wander into the spike traps, and then the spikes start injuring them and taking them out. It might take 5 or 6 minutes of doing nothing but just running around the spike trap, but eventually all 9 of the bad guys die. And I didn't do anything but run on to the next challenge. The big tough guys that you can't just run into, the one character that I start off fighting is a big like Yakuza boss fellow with a sword. Holy smokes. If you get hit with this thing, you can lose 3/4 of your health bar like that. All I do is just run up and then kick as I strafe to one side. 99% of the time, that works just fine. And it takes about 10 minutes of just running at, kicking as I go past him, and then he's trying to hit me with his sword. Sometimes he hits anyway, and there are various attacks that are really hard to avoid, but I've been doing it that way. Takes 10 minutes, but I can do it. And I got all the way up. The final challenge on the first arena thing is 5 of these bosses that take 10 minutes of fighting each. I didn't last through that one. The one that has always stopped me before is you have a bunch of people on your team and then a bunch of chefs in chef hats. And the chefs are tough. But you're in a huge arena filled with these pillars that rise up out of the ground, spikes come out of them, and then they'll stand there, and then occasionally the spikes go back in, they fall back down, and then they rise back up. I've never been able to get through those. I'm using the don't stop running, kick, and just stomp over the top of them as you run and kick mode. And I'm getting through it, because as you kick them, you either run over the top of them and hurt them, or they go flying into spikes. And you just run and avoid, and then when you leap, you can even adjust yourself in the air. So if you find yourself going at spikes and you got room, you can maneuver to the side and not take a face full of death. So it's fun spending 5-10 minutes kicking all these guys into spikes. Thumbs up for that. But I just wanted to talk about that one a lot because it's something I've been doing and have been able to do while I've been getting knocked apart by Little Ghost and all of his health issues. I also have a med manager appointment today at 11, so I don't know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day after that. Thumbs up, I'm going to try and get some recording done. I also do want to record some of the solo RPG stuff as soon as I can figure out where and how I can put my cameras so that people can see like a game board area. And then I got to figure out how to get a game board type area because I don't have large surface areas. So I can put like a cardboard thing on top of that, but then I got to be careful it doesn't fall because the tables are only like this big. So I'm going to work on that and see what I can do. Now, some of the creative stuff I wanted to talk about. When I mentioned yesterday how the Razor's Edge project is a day in the life, a year on the Razor's Edge, and that's what it is, just, little slices of life that tells one big slice of life story. There's no big main tale other than that something awful happens, but it's also just life, and it's a tale of just how people pick themselves up, dust off, and keep going. And so I think that's pretty cool. And the Cryptid one, I mentioned that there's the character Jerry Brighthammer. When I say that he's the main character, he's not really the main character. The story on the Cryptid part is another slice of life, but it's using Jerry as not the main character, but mainly following. So that Jerry might sometimes be a large character in the individual tale, might just be in the background there. But we're learning about the Cryptid world as Jerry learns about the Cryptid world, but it is still a bunch of slice of life stuff with the main theme on this one is I've really been using the Cryptids in narrative style to try and work through stuff that's hurting me. The Cryptids are having to deal with changes in their lives, harsh, fast changes. They're trying to figure out who they are, where they fit into the world, and what is happening with their world. I, in the past 2 years, have had my whole world yanked up and out from underneath me, discovering, with the whole autism and ADHD and figuring out a whole bunch of stuff. My world has become all jumbled. I'm trying to figure out my place in the world and what I do in it and who I am. So that's the main thrust of their story, is they're trying to figure out their struggles for identity in this world that is changing so fast underneath them. So no big narrative tale other than that, just little slice of life stuff all the way through to show how they are changing. There is one cryptid that I have mentioned that the cryptids are starting to become more socially aware and trying to mitigate the damage that's being done with cryptid on cryptid trauma. Let's see where I was going on this one. Yes, they are doing that, but they are largely incapable of extending this to human beings. There are some that are changing in a way. I have imagined a talk between a cryptid who is a wandering stranger serial killer. But they are also talking with Jerry because they've been very, very apologetic and trying to explain things like, when I did not eat this person, it's not because you're not delicious. You are. It's not an insult. It's a me thing. Now, and I'm a serial killer. I enjoy killing human beings. I didn't kill this person. Not an insult. I enjoy killing you. I always will. But it just wasn't right. So don't feel bad. They are feeling toward those humans who have their vision cleared and they are seeing the world as it really is. They have been finding over the past 5 or so years that it is important to them that these human beings who can see the cryptid world be treated with more respect. That it is wrong that they are being treated just like one of the other animals out there, because you're not just one of the sheep. You're part of our world. You're not really human, but you're not cryptid. You deserve more respect. And so it's important to this cryptid that those people understand exactly what they mean and to try and not extend offense to them. Because several years back, this serial killer, not years, just months, had been going out with a human woman who had their vision cleared. So they were a part of the cryptid world, and as it turns out, she actually was offended and hurt when this serial killer did not kill available people and did not eat people if they were available. It was like, are we not delicious? Are we not fun? What's wrong? I mean, eventually he shot her in the head because she was so annoying about it, but he did it painlessly and she never even knew it was coming, out of respect instead of enjoying himself with the death. So he had never thought of it that way before. So now when he talks about these things, he turns to the human beings who have their vision cleared to say, you are delicious. You always will be delicious. I will always enjoy eating you. It's just, it wasn't right. It wasn't the right time. I didn't want to eat them. No insult intended. You are delicious. It's just important to them. The rest of us with our vision not cleared so that we cannot interact with the cryptid world, yeah, we're just animals and sheep. We're there to keep their bellies full. But everybody else that can interact, he thinks that that's wrong and it needs to change. So the cryptid world is changing fast and hard because even 2 generations ago, that never would have been a consideration. The custom there has always been, you don't eat the human beings who have the sight. They're people. They're trained animals. They're not just the wild sheep to eat. They'll do tricks, so you eat them last. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. It's never many anymore, but anything more than 0 was awesome. Thank you so very much. As well, if you have watched or listened to the video this far, thank you very, very much indeed. Nobody forces you to do this. If you have done so, it is of your own volition, and that is appreciated. Now, if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count in American Sign Language, well, and oh boy, my hands are just hurting so much these days. I gotta crack my knuckles constantly, or they just hurt even worse than normal. Thumbs up for that. We have Chris, thumbs up and thank you. Good to see you in the comments. Aditya, I cannot see. I'm at a distance where I cannot see. Gole, thumbs up. There is Conspo Lopez. Always good to see you in the comments. It's been a time. And we have Adrian, FNTES. Good to see you in the comments as well. Thumbs up, thank you. Vortex, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. And here's hoping I can get some recording done soon, too. Ben B. And I just want to say as well, it is good to see you in the comments. I do appreciate your presence and your comments very, very much. Thank you indeed. Greatly appreciated. Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up, thank you. And here's hoping that little ghost is going to do okay. And that is 7 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. You got me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only for a very short time, and if only in text. Thumbs up and thank you. Yay. Well, I've got my med manager appointment as stated. I got to call my genetic father. He called me like on Friday, and I've just not been able to deal with anything. So hopefully I can get that done. Hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done, but if you have to go in survival mode, please go into survival mode. Thumbs up. And with everything going on in the world, just try to take care of yourself health-wise. You don't need to get any sicker than you have to. You don't need to make other people sicker than they need to be. Just be safe and be appropriate for your situation and location. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.